Hi, I'm Don, and this is The Hobbyist Geek. All right, today we are going to be moving forward with R2-D2 with issue 30. We have our parts here, and this looks like it's going to be a motor probably on the leg that we've been building. So let's get this puppy open and see what we got. And here are the parts we get with this issue. Not much here, 4 cable ties and 1 right wheel motor slash gearbox. However, we need a ton of parts from previous issues. We're going to need 4 of the long silver screws, we're going to need 13 of the long black screws, and 4 more of these extra long 10mm silver screws. You're going to need both the front and rear leg pieces that we've put together in previous issues. You're going to need the shoulder piece. You're going to need both the front and rear ankle pieces that we've put together in previous issues. You're going to need the ankle detail pieces. You're going to need both of these cables that came with previous issues. And you're going to need the right shoulder sensor piece. We're going to be throwing all of this together today. So that's actually very, very exciting. I can't wait to get on this. Okay, to get started, we're going to take the front leg piece that we've been putting together that's got the metal brace in here and the wheel at the bottom. And if you take a real close look in here, you can see there is a square hole in there. And on the bottom of the gearbox, there is a square peg. And that is just going to go right into that hole. And it's going to sit flush. And you're going to notice there are 4 screw holes right there. And that's going to line up with the 4 holes on the corners of the gearbox here. So let's see if we can't get that lined up just like that. And you can see it does sit flush. And we're going to use the extra long silver screws to attach it in place. All right, now that we have this in place, we're going to take this multicolored cable here, and let's go ahead and get this thing extended and untied. There we go. And you will notice that there are 2 ends, a larger one and a smaller one. The larger one is going to plug in right here, I believe, just like this. Definitely make sure you do this carefully. Don't bend any of the pins. There it is. Make sure it snaps in place. You're going to take the smaller end of the cable and you're going to thread it underneath this piece here. We're just going to drag it all the way through. All right, so now that we have that done, we can move on to the next part, which would be this cable. Now, for this cable, I had to do something a little special because over here in the US, we don't really measure things using the metric system. And this says that from the tip of the smaller end to the first cable tie is going to be 135 millimeters. So I got a printable ruler. I actually used the inches side to make sure that the measurements were accurate. So I can only hope that the centimeter side is accurate as well. And we're going to measure this out, 135 millimeters. put it right there, and I'm going to put a little mark on it. That way I know exactly how long it'll be from the first cable tie to the end. But for now, we're going to take the larger end and we're going to thread that through here. Just like that. Sorry, I didn't actually do that on camera. So basically we just took the larger end here and we threaded it right through here just like the other cable. This is where the cable ties come into play. So we're going to go ahead and get this open. Okay, and you should notice that you have 4 cable ties. If you take a very close look, you'll see you've got these little hooks right here. Those are what the cable ties are going to go through. You're going to make sure the fat end is facing down when you put it in, and you just slide it through that little hook, and you use it to tie up the cables. And remember, this one has to be 135 millimeters from this tie to the tip of the plug. Then you just do that with all 4 of them, making sure the cables are in a nice, tight, straight line. All right, when you're done, it should look something similar to this, with your cabling going through a nice straight line through this, and you've got your 4 cable ties tying it all together. And again, this one, you want to make sure it has just the right amount of slack as per the instructions. Now what you're going to want to do is take some scissors or some snips of some sort and cut off the excess on the cable ties. And there you go. A nice, neat cable management system embedded right into the model. I absolutely love that. Thank you, Model Space, D'Agostini, for doing that. But this is going to make things much, much easier. Moving on, we're going to want to take the right shoulder sensor from the previous issues. And by the way, when you're cutting all this stuff, make sure you don't actually cut the wires, just the cable ties and the plastic bits that are supposed to be cut. All right, we're going to take this sensor here, and we're going to take the rear leg panel, and there's a nice little gap right here where this is going to fit. It's going to go in just like that. You want to push that in until it's flush and nice and tight. Whew. Mine does not want to go in. Alright, well, this end is going to go through the hole, so we're just going to go ahead and do that now. Maybe that is what is hindering my progress here. Don't believe so. Oh, maybe it was. All right, well, make sure you slide this through the hole first. And for me anyway, yeah, it just went right in immediately after. Then what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to take the cabling from this. Let me get this paper out of the way here. We're going to want to take the cabling from this. We're going to slide it through the same hole. Right here. And this little detail piece slid off, so let's go ahead and put that back on. And then we're going to throw it, well, don't throw it, but I'm going to attach it to the leg like so. Make sure you get all these cables all the way through. And get this all lined up just right. Should snap together fairly well. Should being the operative word. All right. Now with that in place, you can take this, you push it up, and it should fit over top of this and lock everything in place. Just like that. Now what we're going to do is take the shoulder piece here. We're going to fit that over the top, just like that. Then we flip this over. And we've got 12 screw holes. We've got these 6 going down the middle and 6 more around the rim. We're going to use the long black screws to put them all in place. All right, look at that. That is looking very nice. I'm actually quite happy with that. Next up, we are going to take the front ankle piece here. I'm going to slide that in place right on there. And right there is a little hole. We're going to use a single 6mm black screw to hold that in place. Alright, for the next part we're going to have to add some ankle details to this back piece. We've got these here. When putting these details on, you want to make sure that this plate here is facing in. And you're going to want to make sure this curve matches the curve on the side. So it should go like this. Now the instructions seem to indicate it goes the other way around. I don't know why, but it does have issues and things won't fit right if you do it wrong. So when you're done, this should be on the inner side and it'll just slide right into the leg. Alright, so during the assembly I discovered that the silver screws, despite being what the instructions say, it specifically says 6mm silver screws in all 4 holes, those silver screws don't work at all. But the 6mm black screws go in just fine. So make sure you use the black screws for these holes. Well, that was a fun issue, wasn't it? A little bit of an instruction issue here, and this cable going into the motor, you're going to want to make sure it goes straight down and out when you're putting in those cable ties, and don't forget the 135mm length on this. One other item of note, in an earlier video, one of my subscribers actually mentioned that this piece here is going to have to be replaced at some point. I don't know when that's coming. For now, I'm actually just following the instructions so that all of you can see where any difficulties might lie, but I am not looking forward to having to take all of this off in order to get this one piece out. But we're going to see how that plays out in later issues. Chris, thank you very much. I appreciate it. But that is it for issue 30. So if you like the video, please remember to like, share, and subscribe, and we will see you next time. Have a great day.